Hey guys, another video here. I'll probably get a couple more of them out today too. Kind of want to get a few different videos. I want to make sure everybody understands that I'm not all football. The National, those two videos, for whatever reason, I was just pegged on football. I am about 80%, maybe 90% baseball. I love football and I collect football cards, but I'm very segmented in the way I collect football cards. I don't collect everything. Baseball, I collect everything. Football, I am very segmented. I'm very focused. This is my player, this is my team, and then I like these guys too, and that's about the extent of it. And I don't necessarily have to have everything all the time. Baseball, man, baseball is my first love. It's my passion. Just love it. And I've bounced in and out of the hobby over the years, just like most other people. Sounds like a lot of you guys have just been, die hard the whole way. Maybe I'm wrong, but I fell in love with the hobby in 1985. I was 7 years old. The Royals. The Royals were in the World Series. The Royals and the Cardinals were in the World Series. Two Missouri teams. That was huge, huge for me because everybody got involved. I lived in a community where it was a big sports community. Everybody was really into baseball. Everybody loved it. I mean, it was the mid '80s. Everybody loved it anyways. But as I recall, we had a 25-inch color TV. I don't think we had cable, but the neighbor had cable, but had like a little 13-inch black and white TV. So, and of course, our our TV was great. It had wheels. So we rolled it down, to their house and plugged it in, and the entire neighborhood was over there watching the World Series. And I specifically remember Game 7, but I remember nuggets and bits and pieces of the, games 4, 5, and 6. I don't really remember the very beginning very well. All I remember is everybody kept coming over and piling into the house, 40, 50 people. And I remember thinking, what is this? Why is this such a big deal? Why is everybody over here, And I got into it and I started watching it and I was learning who they were. I was like, George Brett, wow, Willie Wilson, Frank White, I was just loving it. When I found out that the Royals was our team, and I'd even gone to a game, but, didn't mean anything to me. I just wanted everything. I wanted the popcorn. I wanted a pop. I wanted a hot dog. I didn't know what we were there for. I was 5 or 6 at the time. But watching that World Series is just kind of like an awakening. And I'd been collecting football cards at that point. I had 1985. I think I had 84 USFL cards. And I remember going to the baseball card shop right after the World Series, trading them all for baseball cards, which was a stupid move looking back on it. But yeah, that started everything for me. And, I'm a father. I've got several kids. So, I've had to kind of come and go from the hobby somewhat. I never really leave in the hobby, but, some years I could buy singles. I could buy hobby boxes. I could drop money on, a couple of big cards here and there. Other times it was retail. It was 2, 3 packs at a time at best, sometimes 1 or 2 packs, a blaster box, and no singles for a year or two. So there's a lot of holes in my collection, a lot of patchy, empty spaces that now I'm going back and trying to fill in. You get a little older, you make more money, you make better choices, pay things off, and you just have the ability to do that. And I would say probably in the last 9 months, I've really been hitting it hard. Now, like I said, I never left the hobby, but I'm about as fully invested now as I've ever been. There's been 4 or 5 times in my adult life where I've been like this, but I don't see it stopping or even slowing down. In fact, it just keeps elevating and getting crazier, and my wife's having to put me on a leash. But I just, really wanted to kind of make a video and showcase some of the pickups that I've been making over that 9-month period. Obviously, I can't show you everything because there's a lot, but and I want to focus on baseball in this video. But I start out with a guy that I was always enamored with since 2001, since the day he hit the ground running. That's Albert Pujols. I mean, the greatest player of the 2010s. You had Bonds in the 90s, and you've got Trout in the 2010s, but in the 2000s it was this guy, and maybe the best 10-year, 11-year, 12-year, whatever run I've ever seen, that I think baseball's ever seen. And up until probably the beginning of the year, right around January, this was the only rookie card of his I had. I don't know how well you can see that. Hopefully it's pretty. There we go. The 2001 Upper Deck. That's pack pulled. I bought the blaster box in 2001. It was probably around midnight. I'd been over at a buddy's house. Me and now my wife, but at the time my girlfriend, was visiting, and we were watching SportsCenter. And I just had a hankering for some cards. I had $20 burning a hole in my pocket, so we went over there and I bought a box of Upper Deck for $20. Ripped it open and And of course, this card was in there, and I remember thinking, I think that Pujols is somebody. You know, I mean, I wanted the Ichiro like everybody else. That's what we were chasing, was the Ichiro. But I just had that feeling about that Pujols. I knew that thing had maybe about a $15 value on it. Buddy kept telling me, better sell it, better sell it. That value ain't gonna hold. It's gonna go down. He's gonna break a leg. He's gonna this. He's gonna that. And nope, hung in there, and it did well. So I bought this. This was my first card right out of the gate. I bought that one. I think I paid just under $20. And I mean, I remember, to me that was a pretty iconic card, in the sense that I remember seeing that quite a bit in Beckett. I remember seeing it, you know, in different publications, different places. It just seemed to surface quite a few times. I bought a few packs of those and never did very well. I always thought maybe I'll pull it. So then I got a little more aggressive, and I'm not a huge graded card guy. I like graded cards, but it's not always. I mean, I like raw cards too, probably more so than graded, but I like them both. And I thought, man, I got to have a graded. I don't even care what it is. I just say I got to have a graded card. And at the time, I wasn't spending a lot of money, so I think for around $30, I picked that one up. I'm not sure. I think it was around 30. Of course, the number's on there, and if you're eBay savvy, you'll figure it out. But yeah, it was. I want to say it was right around January, February. I don't know, somewhere in there. But I paid right around $30 for it. A PSA 9 for Donruss the Rookies card. I mean, that's just, to me, that's insane. It should be more than that. Not that I wish it was, because, you know, make everything else hard to get. But the next one I picked up was the Gallery, which I love. That's an awesome card. I was actually out of town when that showed up in the mail. I was nervous as can be because it was raining. I remember thinking, man, I got to get home and get that out of the mail. And it sat in the mailbox for 2 days. And then I chased this one. To me, that's the ultimate iconic image of, well, the iconic rookie image. I wish I had the chrome that's signed. That's kind of on my to get list, but that's going to cost me about $10,000. So we'll see, right? And then, of course, I had to have the Topps traded. You know, Topps traded is pretty key. Always is. $25, maybe, something like that. I mean, so if you're thinking that you need to pick up these Pujols, and I'm agreeing with you, you do. $25 ain't a bad price. And all of these have been picked up since the new year. So, you know, he hasn't had the greatest of years. You know, he's on the decline. So this stuff should be pretty easy to pick up right now for whatever reason. You know, just because, what have you done for me lately, I guess. There's the Topps Chrome late edition. Pretty sweet card. I need to get the regular Topps Chrome with the etching, and it's just a beautiful card, but I've kind of switched gears lately, so I need to get back to it. And then, of course, the Upper Deck Reserve. I think that was $50, buy it now, or no, 30. I think it was $30, buy it now. Man, I jumped on that thing the second. I mean, I was just checking, you know, newly released, newly issued, or newly listed. I seen that for $30, buy it now. I could not get my money out fast enough. I was all thumbs trying to pay now. And so that's my Pujols rookie card collection right there. So I'm pretty tickled with that. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times what I had going into the new year. And then I mean, there for a while, I just got on a buy it now, click and roll. You know, it's like I bought this one for $9, $9.71. I don't know, something like that. It's PSA 9, you know, off center. I don't think it looks all that bad. I think it looks pretty decent. It's a good looking card for $9. I probably would have bought it raw for $9, you know, which is maybe overpaying a little bit, but graded. I mean, what's the cheapest you can get a card graded for? $7. So would I pay $2 for this card? And it's a PSA 9. You know, I mean, I'll take that. It's not like I'm going to sell it anyway. So then I picked this one up recently for $50. And you can get that for about $50 all day long in a Gem Mint 10. I mean, it's not the most iconic of his cards, but it's a pretty sweet one. It's score traded. You know, I really like those. See if I can get that to focus. The Gem Mint 10 rookie Griffey in any card is totally worth its weight. I mean, why wouldn't you? For $50, I got to pick up a few more. I got to get the Topps traded. And then this one, I was in Canada, and where was I? I was in Calgary. I think I was in Calgary. There was a baseball card shop up there, and they had this one for $100. That's 100 Canadian bucks. So what is that? I don't even know. $87 American, something like that. But I scooped up a bunch of other cards too, and he charged me, I think, $125 for the lot. And one of the other cards was JD Martinez and a PSA 9. He wanted like $15 for or $10 for. That's one of them, you know. And of course, this Gem Mint 10 update Scherzer rookie, which is just a no-brainer. You got to have that. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer, no doubt. So I can't even remember what the other ones are. I think I had a Hunter Dozier autographed rookie card and a couple weird Bo Jacksons and stuff like that. I think I paid $125 or $130 total. And that's Canadian money, so $112 or something. I think this card sells for $125. So it wasn't a huge steal, but I did pretty well. I couldn't complain. I was pretty happy to add it. And then also in the last few months, I mean, I love the Cubs. I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily a Cubs fan, but I do like the Cubs. It's a very stacked team, you know, very great team. And I think Chris Bryant is very unappreciated in the last few years. I mean, he had a pretty strong start to his career. Then in the last year or two, he's kind of fizzled a little, but he's still putting up decent numbers, good numbers. He's probably going to be a Hall of Famer as well, as long as he maintains a adequate pace. But he's won an MVP. He's done awesome. So, I mean, right now, this is one that can be had pretty cheap. I think I paid $25. No, I think I paid less than that. Maybe $18 plus tax, or tax shipping. So maybe $21. So, I mean, that was a pretty nice pickup in a Gem Mint 10. The card by itself isn't all that rare or anything, but everything's a little more rare in a 10, especially if you can get it for a reasonable price. And I think I picked these up for $9 each, $10 each, $14. I don't remember. But in a 9.5, you know, a couple other versions and variations. And then, of course, the first Bowman card in chrome for a 9.5. So, I mean, these were some pretty decent additions in the last few months. And, of course, I've cracked a bunch of wax. I love packs. I love packs. Everybody says, you know, don't buy wax, buy singles. Fine. I buy singles. You've seen that. But I still got to open packs. Yeah, I have to. You know, it's just part of the fun. You know, I just told you the story behind pulling that Pujols rookie card. You know, that stuck with me. That was 2001. This is 2019. Those stories stick with you, and it just makes that moment memorable. I mean, I remember a stupid conversation between me and my buddy that led to me calling out, Albert Pujols' career and him thinking you got to sell it now. It's just a fun story. So sometimes opening wax, man, it's just awesome. And every now and again, you can do really well. I always check the clearance at Walmart, and I found some 2017 Topps Update. I found one pack in Ames, Iowa. I was up there for a dance competition with my kids. And I bought a bunch of, I think Donruss had just hit, you know, the Panini Donruss, whatever they call it now, the 2019 stuff, the ugly stuff. But I bought some of that, and then I bought this, and lo and behold, I had that in there, the Aaron Judge rookie card, but it's also it's the Topps Gold. So, I mean, that was a heck of a pull. That was fun. And again, I just told you a story behind pulling it. So, you know, you make memories. So everybody talking about how, oh, you'll never break even, you'll never break even. Who cares? I'm not in it to break even because I don't sell any of it. So I don't care if I break even. I don't care if I come up behind. I don't care if I come out ahead. Not really. I mean, obviously you want to come out ahead mostly because it has more to do with the cards. It means you pulled some good stuff you love. But overall, I just don't sell cards. I'm a collector. I don't sell them. So worrying about coming out ahead is just silly to me. And then earlier this season, what is this, 2019? Bought 2019 Topps Series 1 and got the silver pack. And this was the baseball card store in Kansas City. And I do really well there with the silver packs. But this guy was right in the back of that pack. It was a pretty sweet pull. Darryl Strawberry. Man, if you grew up in the 80s like I did, oh man, this was great. This is... was that numbered 4 out of 5? I don't know if you can see that or not, but we'll get it in there. Get it. Yeah, maybe. Surely you can make that out. I'm gonna have to work on my my YouTube skills here. I'm a noob, so yeah. I have no idea. I don't even know what this card's worth. But all I know is that, you know, made my box. And then shortly thereafter, maybe 2 weeks later, I was down there at the same store and I bought a box of 2018 Topps Update. And he had a pretty good price on it too. I think I only paid like $75 for it, you know. And I mean, it was a pretty well sought after box. But I got the silver pack, and then I pulled this. And that's a Juan Soto. Trying to get it to hit right. You can see that autograph in there. It's a sticker auto, but who cares? It's Juan Soto. So, you know, I mean, that's a pretty awesome hit. And I'm not necessarily a Juan Soto collector or even a Juan Soto fan. I'm not an anti-fan either. I just don't know much about him. I know he's a pretty good player. I've checked his stats. I've seen him swing the bat a few times. And the way I see it, you know, this is one of those cards that may get something that I really do care about and want in the future. So never underestimate the power of trade bait. Always, always, always good stuff. And then the one other one that I pulled this year that I'm pretty tickled about, bought a ton of Bowman. Broke a lot of Bowman. I love Bowman, you know, and I don't really chase the hits. That's what a lot of people say, you chase the hits. I just love Bowman. I like the rookie cards. I like the first Bowman card, the chromes. I just like it. It's a good product, and I don't go into it thinking I'm going to pull a whole lot of anything. Every time I buy a hobby box, I get a crap auto anyways. I don't think I've pulled a very good one many times, maybe 2 or 3 times. This year I bought this is just out of a retail blaster. I was on my way to work, stopped at Walmart, bought a blaster, and this was in there. Casey Mize. It's not a first Bowman chrome, it's a prospect card, but it's autographed, you know, and literally the next day he was making the news. I think he'd been promoted. I don't know if I can remember the story now. He got promoted to AA, and I think his very first game in AA, he threw a no-hitter. And I was reading all about Casey Mize, going, wow, you know, usually I don't know who any of these guys are for quite some time, and like, that name sounds familiar. So, of course, I went back and I checked, and yep, sure enough, that was the autographed card that I pulled. So, you know, $50, $60 maybe. I mean, it's not a huge card, but could be, you know. He gets up there and has a Kershaw-like career or a Scherzer-like career. Hell, this card could be a couple $100. I mean, it won't be anything like, you know, the chrome or anything like that. But, I mean, those are fun cards. They're good cards. So I was pretty happy to add that to the collection. So, I mean, that's a little bit more about me. That's a little bit about what I've been collecting, what I've been doing, you know, aside from the Patrick Mahomes PC, aside from the football stuff that I've been kind of knee-deep in here lately. I mean, football season is getting ready to take off, and the Chiefs are probably going to have a pretty darn good year one way or the other. But at the end of the day, I haven't forgotten my baseball roots. I love them, love them, love them, and I'm looking so forward to 2019 Topps update. So once that hits, I'll probably go crazy all over again and buy a few hobbies, some jumbo, some retail, who knows. But until then, who knows. So I'll be back, man. It's good talking to you guys. I'll see you later.